Hello everyone, you are listening to Inspiria Gyan podcast series and I'm Taqi Haider. Timing, perseverance and 10 years of trying eventually make you look like an overnight success. On this note, I would like to begin third episode of Inspiria Gyan series. In this episode, we will be discussing about how to become an entrepreneur. And to discuss on this topic, we have a very special guest with us, Sharon Chandy sir. He's from BBA Entrepreneurship Department. He's currently heading the department. So thank you for joining in, sir.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for having me on this talk show.
So let's begin the podcast. And my first question to you: can you just tell me, my audience, that in simple words, what is exactly an entrepreneurship?
So, in simple words, entrepreneurship is nothing but thinking of some innovative business idea and to convert that into a startup. So, we all know that it is the innovative ideas which have changed the society. And once you have these innovative ideas with you, the next step is to try and convert this into a running full-fledged business.
Okay.
So, in Inspiria, we train students to also think innovatively and also come up with certain plans, strategies to convert these ideas into business.
That's right. And I just wanted to add this answer that we organize weekend startup as well.
Yes, startup weekends
Yeah.
is once in a year, which we used to do. Now we want to do it twice in a year.
Yeah.
And this is a platform that we offer to the students to come and showcase their business ideas. And they also receive mentorship from industry experts. And it's a good platform to get some good feedback, not only from the judges and mentors, but also from their own peer groups. So it's a 36-hour long event wherein they come together on a weekend and work and hustle on their ideas.
That's good. And I have seen students from different department, not only from BBA department. I have seen this particular event since 4 or 5 years, and I can see a lot of other students as well. They are participating and they are coming up with very good ideas.
Yes, absolutely. In the past 3-4 years, we have seen very good ideas and scalable ideas here in Inspiria, and students have also devoted lot of time and passion behind these ideas, and they have shown great zeal in participating in such events, be it within the college or outside. So we are seeing a trend wherein you may not have any formal entrepreneurship qualification or degree, but then you have a passion to become an entrepreneur. So you may be in any other department in Inspiria, but your zeal actually carries you to think about such innovative ideas and work towards converting those ideas into businesses.
Rightly said. And I just wanted to know, is it only an idea is important for being entrepreneur or something else is there?
Well, idea, I would say, is the starting point, and along with idea, you will require lots of execution skills, lots of passion, and lots of energy to convert these ideas into business plans. So idea, as we come up with great ideas, even in our classroom teachings. We do organize some ideation workshops wherein we come together and think about the problems in the environment, and we keep holding seminars and other events to promote innovative thinking in our students. Now, once you have an idea, comes the next stage. You have to convert the idea into a solid plan.
Yeah.
And wherein the mentorship from faculty members and industry experts helps our students to solidify that idea into a good plan, and then actually execute these ideas and plans into a successful business model, wherein they will then have to go to the market to validate the idea, to take some feedback from customers, and to arrange for funding if needed, and then come up with a prototype, and then finally again go to the market and test the prototype, and then come up with the final product. So you see, these intermediate stages have lots of work to do, and unless the students are passionate and having good execution skills, it would not suffice.
Okay, talking about the student and the skills, I have read somewhere That and that is true as well. In China, if you compare to India, they have a lot of startups and entrepreneurs. Talking about our country, yes, we have started the initiatives like Startup India, and as you just mentioned, that institution like Inspiria Knowledge Campus, we conduct this startup weekend kind of thing. So, do you think that this is enough, or we have to do something else in order to inculcate the habit of entrepreneurship in our students?
Well, I would say that uh, it's half full. The glass is half full.
Mhm.
So we have come a long way in inculcating the culture of entrepreneurship in our youngsters, and there are many steps that the government has also taken to develop a holistic entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. But then the other side which needs to be worked upon are the adequate funding that needs to be available to these youngsters to be able to scale up their business ideas. And India has done pretty well in the last 4 years as far as startup funding is there. But when we compare it to China, this funding is just 1/5 of what the funding that is available in China today. So when it comes to funding, when it comes to getting right mentorship, and when it comes to cutting edge technologies, India would need to do more, because if you want to be a storehouse of knowledge, innovation, and cutting edge technology for tomorrow, then we will have to invest a lot of money and have the right policies from the government side also to encourage entrepreneurship going forward. So India is seeing a upthrust in entrepreneurship in certain key areas when it comes to logistics, edtech, and such fields. But then when it comes to very niche areas, we still are lacking innovation and innovative thinking there. For example, in the field of semiconductors,
Yeah.
in the field of defense technologies and material sciences. So there is still a lacune or a gap there. So I would say that we have come thus far, which is very nice, but we have miles to go actually.
That's right, and I completely agree with your point. Talking about the startup, I just wanted to know from you. Can you tell us the point where you have helped any startup?
Well, if you're asking about our own students, we actually mentor the students right from their first semester as they come in to first have few sessions on innovative thinking. And we give them lot of industry examples and case studies wherein they actually get to know that, what does innovative thinking mean? Because many cases, the schooling has not addressed these aspects. So we want to give them a solid foundation as far as what innovative thinking is all about. And we give them some practical demonstrations as to how once you stumble upon a good idea, how you can actually think in multifaceted ways to actually convert it into a viable business. So for that reason, we give them many examples of businesses which have multiple revenue streams, which are future forward in nature, and where you have multiple customer segments. So if one segment dies down, you have the other segment to give you revenues on a recurring basis, and so on. So basically, as faculty members, our role is to first give them a good grounding on innovative thinking. And now, then the next stage comes that we give them platforms to come and present their ideas in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And, we give them forums to participate within the college and also outside, so that, they get a good base to and confidence to actually present their ideas to future potential investors. So these are all the areas where we as faculty members come in, and we also arrange some industry experts to come in and mentor these students on the sidelines of events like startup weekends and so on.
That's a great initiative, and I personally liked it. Uh, Talking about the startup, talking about the idea, according to you, tell us that one startup where you find it very useful, but industry doesn't accept it.
Well, there are many examples because primarily one of the key areas for entrepreneurs to think innovatively is to solve future problems.
Yeah.
So something that they have come up today is not yet a problem actually for the society. But then, as startups as they are, entrepreneurs as they are, in their DNA, they think about the future.
Yeah.
So there are many such examples wherein you wouldn't see the startup, starting off as a very successful one and ending up making losses and, getting investments from funding agencies and funding organizations, but not able to scale up in terms of their revenue. For example, when Byju's has started way back in 2014, they were not able to scale up in terms of their revenue. But once the COVID struck, their revenues jumped fourfold, fivefold. And, these are the examples, where, the startup takes times to get, accepted in the society among the customers. So was the case with, electric vehicles, say, for example, Tesla.
Yeah.
It was, the idea has been around. But, it is of recent times that, Tesla is getting undue mileage, and it's, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world because of that. So I would say that entrepreneurship is a game of patience, and it is the long-term player who actually wins. And I would say that, the expectation from an entrepreneur should not be of immediate success, but to actually serve the society and generate revenue over a long term, and to make the business sustainable.
That's right. And to answer this, to add the answer in my 10 years of trying eventually make you look like an overnight success. I have started my podcast with this quote. And talking about success, who's your favorite entrepreneur? I'm sure there might be two or three, but if you can tell us two favorite entrepreneurs of yours, that would be great.
So, my all-time favorite has been Steve Jobs, and the founder of Apple Computers, as we all know. And the primary reason is that the products that he has come up with and innovated, were path-breaking. We used to store, let's say 20, 30 songs in an audio cassette. And those times he came up with something called as an iPod, where you could store 300 odd songs. And the next was an iPad, came up in 2010, and it was something in between a smartphone and a laptop. And it was an innovative product just to make the customers, feel great regarding checking emails, browsing the internet, and looking up their photographs, taking photos as well, and so on and so forth. So completely mobile, user-friendly, light, sleek device. So I like the way Steve Jobs, solved the problems of the world, much before they were even problems.
Yes, right.
So even today, when mobility has increased manifold, we find that an iPad, delivers wonders in the hands of traveling commuters or long distance travelers, business people, and so on. So to say, actually, Steve Jobs was someone who was a visionary, and he could anticipate what the future trends would be, and his product reflected this very much. And the second great entrepreneur I would like to mention here is Mark Zuckerberg, because of his passion and diligence, and he's created Facebook, which is a country in itself, and it's so huge and mammoth today that it is even influencing US presidential elections. And that's something amazing. And Facebook is a country in itself, as I just mentioned. And the kind of power it wields today is amazing, and it's unthinkable that anything like this could be created, and which actually binds the citizens so close to each other, and you feel like a community the first time you meet, and you exchange your Facebook accounts, and become friends, and you can keep track of friends. So it all actually gives a new zing and meaning to life, actually. So we all have been addicted to Facebook in our college days, and we have spent hours and hours in the night being on Facebook. So I feel that he has understood the pulse of the people, that we all want to be connected, however dispersed we may be from our homes, cities, and near and dear ones, but we still want to remain connected. So I think an entrepreneur, taking lessons from Mark Zuckerberg, is an entrepreneur is one who knows the psychology of the customers, and he's able to encash on that. And Facebook came at a time when mobility was increasing. People were away from homes for education and work, and so on. So it came at the perfect time, and I would say that it has a future also. And with the metaverse that is coming in future, the whole new world of three-dimensional working and three-dimensional view that will be given to us, and we will be able to work remotely and virtually from anywhere in the world, is amazing, and it holds great powers in future, I believe. And I've been reading regarding this, is that Mark is also working overtime to get this into reality.
Yeah, just to add this thing in the answer, that I think it will take some time. He has, as you mentioned, he's a visionary, but for me, metaverse, I think it will take some time.
Yes,
But-
absolutely. I think it's a concept that he has designed and is working on it, and I can see that it has a future, and there may be some bottlenecks in the way, but then he's one person who is persistent, and I'm sure he'll get over it.
Because it's coming from Mark Zuckerberg, so it has something. We have to take it seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have two more questions left. The second last one is that what two qualities must have for becoming an entrepreneur?
I think entrepreneur needs to think at its feet, and he needs to identify the right problems. He need to toy with lot of problems to stumble upon a good one which is solvable, and which actually makes the society better. So I would say he should be somebody who likes problems. He's not running away from problems, but he embraces the problems, thinks upon those problems, how he can solve those problems. And at the end of the day, it is the problem and the intensity of the problem and the veracity of the problem, the size of the problem, that makes your business big. So if you have a problem that is really grave, and that is really a problem of the masses, and that is where I would say that you have stumbled upon a good business idea. So he should be someone who embraces problems, and second, he should have good execution skills, as I mentioned just back, that you wouldn't have everything to start the business initially. So you will have to be good in execution and be very deft how to navigate the environment to actually get your idea to success. And this requires arranging the right team, arranging the right resources in terms of funding, in terms of locations, in terms of skills, in terms of getting the right help from various quarters, getting the right mentorship, incubation if necessary, and so on. So you name it, the entrepreneurship needs a lot of resources to actually start a business. So especially in niche areas, it's very difficult to get help. It's very difficult to get the confidence of the investors many a times, and it's sometimes a humongous task to actually get your first 50, 100 customers.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the execution skills matter.
That's right. And my last question to you is, one Indian entrepreneur every entrepreneur should follow.
Well, that's an interesting question, and we have had many good entrepreneurs. This generation is really blessed that they have many good examples. In entrepreneurs. Long back when I was in college, we only had the IT founders of the IT companies whom we used to look up as entrepreneurs, like Azim Premji, Mr. Narayan Murthy, and so on and so forth. But here we have so many entrepreneurs have come post that decade, that we have many more examples that are around, and we can take inspiration from. So an Indian entrepreneur who comes to my mind at this moment is Baiju Ravindran, and a company which started with very humble backgrounds in Bangalore, is today a 6,300 crore company, and is doing wonders and transform the educational landscape of India. And Byju's is has also managed to catch catch the imagination of our school going children as well, by animating the videos, and making them learning as fun and enjoyable. And this was never the case. Learning used to be boring, monotonous,
Yeah.
and difficult. But Byju's has transformed that landscape and made learning all the more interesting. So therefore, we have so many takers to Byju's, and Byju's is a household name today.
Yeah.
And come the pandemic, Byju's also did
He's one
tremendously
of
well.
the sponsors of Indian cricket team.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he has the best brand ambassadors now.
Yeah.
And I think the success of an entrepreneur can be gauged by the very fact that today Byju's is a household name. And Byju's has a future, and they have invested massive amount of money in coming up with the educational and learning content in many vernacular languages, and they have now expanded to countries like Sri Lanka and Nepal as well. So I feel that there's long way to go for Byju's.
That's right. And this is what little dosh to me. I thought you will say Ritesh Agarwal, but it's good. Means he's also doing a commendable job. And that's it in the podcast show today. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you, sir. Thanks very much. Pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it's always been a pleasure. He's one of my favorite person in Inspiria. We keep discussing about entrepreneurship and all. So we'll meet you in next episode. Till then, keep listening to Inspiria Gyan series podcast. Thank you very much.